Every woman has the potential to orgasm, but most women only are experiencing one type of orgasm, 70%, right?
Yeah.
But the clitoris is the underdeveloped tip of the head of the lingam for men. The type of orgasm that 70% of women are having is a masculine orgasm, which is why I think that there's more masculine women today on the planet, because they're orgasming the same way a man does.
Okay, guys, Jennelle Gordon is here. Fan favorite. I think this is, what, your 4th or 5th appearance now?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you're highly...
Third or fourth, I'm just, yeah.
Been killing it. Every time you come on, you stir up some interesting comments, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're breaking the norm. I like that.
But you know what I think is interesting is people say I do it for they say, oh, people will say anything. You see that a lot, or she's doing that for the clicks. And I'm like, no, like, I really live this.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
I
you
do
do.
drink my womb blood. I do drink my urine. I do drink my man's semen. Like, you know, so it's not, I think that's what's interesting is that this is like real.
You actually live it. I mean, you just got back from Bali. You did a whole retreat over there, right?
Yes,
Made the news a little bit.
I made the news a little bit. I was ostracized for teaching healthy, conscious, spiritual intimacy, which it is a Muslim country. And I actually wasn't fully aware of that. So we need to do a little more due diligence next time. But they have a rule now in Bali where you cannot have sex unless you're married. And they have cameras in all the Airbnbs, not the owners of the Airbnb, but the government.
Wow.
So it's a little...
That's a basis.
Sketch. Yeah.
I don't think I'd go there.
I would never go back there.
Yeah.
I can't really.
I'm spending thousands on Airbnb. Why would I?
Why would you want to? Yeah. Why would you want to have your stuff, videotaped?
Yeah.
Surveillance, that's the word.
Did you know there was cameras when you got inside?
not.
Oh, so they hide them.
They did hide them. And they don't, and now I know because I went through immigration. They stopped us. They detained us. And, I had to, this is the thing that's so frustrating, I think, is I'm always trying to prove that I'm legitimate. It's like people look at me and I'm like a meme, because of how I look, and I understand. And then what I do isn't really considered work. It's considered sex work, right? But I'm not a sex worker. And so I think that's the hard part. What I do is actual healing. I help people in their intimate relationships, which a part of that is your sex life. And I guess it's still hard for me to understand why there's so much pushback still from even personal developed people, even from the faith-based community. They love to hate me as well. And it's like, we know that marriages end in divorce for 2 reasons: infidelity and money, correct?
Yeah.
And often intertwined. People are not happy in marriages having sex today. The population that has the least amount of sex is married people. The worst cases, they're saying they're having sex once a month.
Holy crap.
That's 12 times a year. So it's not like a foreign concept that we need to fix this, right? And why can we not do it with a sense of sacredness and spirituality? I guess that's I don't get it.
I think it's because sex has been such a taboo topic for people growing up, right? So they're ashamed to even talk about it.
Yes.
And you're so open with it.
And that's because I asked that too. I'm like, I don't understand why I get so many guys that are interested in me. I really don't. I'm not being me, I'm a straight shooter. I'm I don't get it. I'm not super hot. I'm mildly attractive. I'm in my 40s, whatever. I don't get it. Why are so many men interested in me? And my friends were like, what? You don't really? They're like, Jennelle, you speak about sex and you speak about it unashamed, with knowledge, with that is interesting, because most women don't do that. So I didn't really, I guess when you're in what you do, it's hard for you to see outside and understand how people look at you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's interesting. So I didn't know you were getting a lot of guys hitting on you.
Oh, yeah. All the time.
In your DMs or the person or both?
Everywhere.
Wow.
All the time.
Could be your energy too.
I think it is that too. I think it's because I'm highly feminine, and I think that that's a trait that we've lost today.
Yeah.
That women want to be men. They want to compete with men. They want to provide. They want to do everything that a man does and be treated like a man does, but then in certain times they want the privileges of a woman.
Right.
Does that make sense?
No, it does. Well, we're in a society now where the woman almost has to work, right?
Has to.
It's hard to make a living.
It's hard. And I was just listening to one of my teachers on the way flying over here, and it's there's nothing wrong with women working. Let's be clear about that. We have to do it. I do it. I'm both man and woman, unfortunately, until I decide to who's the lucky guy who gets me, which whoever gets me is lucky, you
Yeah.
know? But like, it is tough to do all those things and stay feminine. And there's nothing wrong with working. There's nothing wrong with even being a CEO. But the chances of you being a high-powered exec CEO or working in the same field as a man does and then coming home and being highly feminine are just slim to none. It just doesn't happen. How do you change those hats? When you're in a male dominant, there's more male CEOs than there are female, but the numbers are not even like close.
Yeah.
So then you put women in these roles where they're forced to work, they're forced to act like a man, to think like a man, to make rash decisions. That's why I don't think women should be presidents. They can't be. Like, are you kidding? Like, do you think on my menstrual cycle I can make decisions? Like, I can't even sometimes literally, Sean, knowing everything I know about hormones, and I still sometimes am like, what is going on, you know? And I know that I'm going through it.
It's that severe, huh?
Yeah. So it's like women don't belong in those roles. We're not cut out for it. So if you are in one of those roles in life and then you want to go home and be feminine, it's a lot of work. I think it's near impossible to do it.
I've had a lot of financially successful women on the show, and I'm always I'm always fascinated with their dating life because it must be really damn hard to date.
It's so hard because you know what? Those women, they think that their importance lies in like what they do and how much money they make and their accolades. But for a man, that's almost an inch. It's like their lingam goes inside their body when a woman starts flexing about what she's done. Because a man's role is to like protect, provide, and to be the Shiva, to be the one who does all this shit. It's not saying that he can't be proud of you for your accomplishments. But if you're coming to him saying, hey, I'm a CEO, I make, 7 figures. Like, what does that do for him? How does that, like, that's not getting his dick hard, I promise you.
Right.
What is if you say, hey, honey, like, here's what I've done in the world alone. And, I've had to do it. But I'm so happy to, like, come and, like, Erica Kirk's a perfect example, support you and not be a slave or not be a servant. But serving is different than being a servant, I think. How can I serve you? Look, just like he asked her, Charlie said, how can I make your life better every day? You should ask that to your partner. I just asked my guy this the other night. I said, like, he was so stressed and he just works all the time and we don't see each other often. But when we do, it's like magnetic. And I think that's one of the things we're going to talk about later.
Yeah.
I said, like, what can I do to help you? Like, how can I make your life less stressful? And he just said, you know what? I don't know, but I'm going to think about it. And I don't think women ask men that. Like,
I've never been. Actually, I would lie.
Okay.
I've been asked, but it's not like a daily thing.
Yeah, it's like, what can I do to, I don't mind saying it. How can I serve you? Like, what can I do to add, to make your life easier so that you can do what you do as the protector, the provider, being present, all those things.
Yeah. When I saw Charlie do that, it made me want to be a better husband, actually.
It's like, to me, I think like their love story is like, I get teary-eyed thinking about it because I read energy like people read whatever, numbers or the stocks. Like my guy's a stock guy. Like their energy was just so profound and so just in love and in God. And it's like, if you don't know until you have that. Once you have that experience of a man who's like present for you, wants to protect, wants to provide, wants to just, presence is the big one. Like it's so intoxicating. I know with my guy, when he's there with me, like I don't even think like we're in this, we're in an alternate universe. And that is what women are not getting today. And then on the same token, men aren't getting the femininity that allows them to feel like they can go out into the world and take on what they have to take on. Right? They come home and it's a fight. They're not getting sex. They're getting nagged or they're getting complaining, as you said.
Right.
All these things. Or conditional love. That's the big one. Like Erica Kirk forgave, this man. She said, I forgive you. And but yet your wife or your long-term partner doesn't forgive you for leaving the toilet seat up or not taking the trash out or forgetting something with the kids and or the worst, infidelity. Like we don't forgive that. Why do we not forgive infidelity? Why are we like that? That's saying our love is limitless. That's saying our love is conditional. Because we're saying, I will only love you and forgive you if you do all these things perfect.
Right.
We're human. And so to me,
Shout out to today's sponsor, Quince. As the weather cools, I'm swapping in the pieces that actually gets the job done, that are warm, durable, and built to last. Quince delivers every time with wardrobe staples that'll carry you through the season. They have fall staples that you'll actually want to wear, like the 100% Mongolian cashmere for just $60. They also got classic fit denim and real leather and wool outerwear that looks sharp and holds up. By partnering directly with ethical factories and top artisans, Quince cuts out the middleman to deliver premium quality at half the cost of similar brands. They've really become a go-to across the board. You guys know how I love linen and how I've talked about it on previous episodes. I picked up some linen pants and they feel incredible. The quality is definitely noticeable compared to other brands. Layer up this fall with pieces that feel as good as they look. Go to quince.com/DSH for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. They're also available in Canada too.
Problem we have in relationships and marriage, and that's why the divorce rate's so high. And who is it filing? Women.
Yep. 80%, right?
80%.
That's a lot.
Just because you have sex with someone else doesn't mean you don't love me. Doesn't mean that it's right either, but it doesn't mean I'm going to leave you for that. It means that we obviously have some challenges that we need to work through together.
Right.
There's some unmet needs. There's something. Now, if it's perpetual and it becomes like all the time, then I could understand. But people will blow up a family because a guy had sex with another woman. It's like, really? That's love?
Yeah, because a lot of men view sex physically, right?
Yeah, it's just the way, it's like how they connect. For women, we connect differently. We connect, right, with like presence and talking and stuff that's not important to you guys. What's important to men is sex. And so sometimes men don't know how to use their big boy words and they go out and have sex and then they do feel bad about it. Men feel bad about it, I think sometimes, unless they have some other challenges.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that they didn't love you or that, that there was something, sorry about that there was something that, that they're giving up on the family. It just meant that there was I think a lot of times it's unfulfilled, unmet needs and desires sexually. I think we're talking about that too.
Yeah.
And then also, it could just be a way for them to express themselves and communicate. And sometimes they can't communicate with you. Why? Because women don't listen.
Do you think that's a pretty common issue with women?
I think it's a huge issue. We don't, and my business partner, Keith Mitchell, tells me this all the time. He said, Jennelle, if you really want to know what's going on with your guy, ask him specific questions. And don't say anything. And he said, men don't really say a lot. And I agree with him. Men don't really say a lot. But when they do say something, it means something. And a lot of times when you get a man talking, he'll just keep revealing more, even maybe more than he meant to. But it will be really indicative of what's going on within him. I think women, we obviously say way more words than men. We know that we talk a lot. Men don't necessarily need to. But when they do speak, it's important. It means something. And I think women, as women, we don't listen to men. I watch it all the time in shows and things like that. The man will try to say something. The woman cuts him off all the time. And he'll just listen. And then she'll say one more word. He'll try to get something in. No. And it goes on and on like that. And I see this with couples too. And in the end, the man says nothing. But the woman gets everything out. And then what happens? That goes somewhere. That energy doesn't get just solved, right? So I think women need to listen more, because when we do, there's a lot of depth there. There's a lot of insight, and they will really tell you what they're thinking and feeling if you let them.
I love that. Do you also feel like women are complaining and nagging a lot?
I think women complain and nag all the time. I think it's something that's sort of like in their DNA to just like always be unhappy, unsatisfied, no matter like what the man is doing for them, right? I think that I think it's a part of us just thinking that we're communicating. We just don't know how to communicate correctly with men. The power of influence, I think you understand this, is very important if you know how to influence someone. The problem is women will talk to men and their husbands the way they talk to their girlfriends.
Right.
This happened, honey, and oh my God, he said this. A man doesn't get that. A man is wired to what? Solve problems, right? Solve for X. provide a solution. So when you're saying a bunch of complaining, it just stresses him out because he's like, is this real? Do I really need to solve this? Or is this like, and then it's just a lot of words and it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So there's definitely like things you can do about it, but.
Do you think it's a blocked throat chakra thing sometimes too for these women?
Well, it is. I think it's a few things. And I wanted to make sure I get these really clear. It's suppressed expression, unspoken desire, and emotional disconnection from women. And why? Why does that play out in the blocked throat chakra? They feel unseen. They feel unsafe. Maybe they don't feel like desired and they don't feel like they're being ravished emotionally because, women connect emotionally, right? Versus sexually, where men connect sexually. And so the Tantrics had this philosophy that like, if a woman is suppressing, her voice, her needs, her desires, that there's a spot right here in the throat chakra. This is where the throat chakra sits. That when you deep throat, that gets activated. So we have nadis and energy centers all over the body, and one of them's here. So when a woman actually can do deep throating with her partner's lingam, that actually can heal trauma.
Wow.
It can release untrapped emotions. It can also the unsuppressed desires and emotional release that can happen in deep throating is immense. The other thing that I think is really important for you to understand is that when you had sex with your partner, when you have sex with her, think about if you tune everything out and you just go into the sound. Sound is powerful, right? It's a frequency, right? What kind of sounds are you hearing from your spouse when you're having sex? Have you ever thought about that? No,
Not really, to be honest.
Okay, so you're hearing the same typically types of sounds. A lot of times, like I said, it's unsuppressed and it's stuck, and they're not fully expressing what they're feeling in sex, in lovemaking, if you will, through their voice. Sometimes you'll hear generic sounds like like these types of things, or what you see in.
Right.
Why? Because in my book I talk about it. Monkey see, monkey do. We learn from. So that's what a woman thinks is exciting and arousing to a man, is to hear what they've seen on. So if you really take a moment, now this is your homework, listen to the sounds that are coming from your partner during lovemaking, and you'll find that they're all basically the same.
Wow.
Because again, this is what we're talking. So yes, it's about deep throating, but there is unsuppressed emotions, desire, emotional disconnection that is trapped here. Because if you penetrate, the deep throating with the lingam, it opens that up. And what happens, you'll find in real lovemaking, I sound crazy. My guy gets so mad. He's because he has roommates. He's like, I can't have you over because you wake them up. And he's like, because I'm so loud. I'm crying half the time.
During sex?
Yes, because we're going to talk about that. I'm crying. I'm screaming. It's not I'm yelling, and it's so intense. And he loves it because he's like, you just get on and go. And he's all about it. But he's like, I don't want my roommates hearing this. This is embarrassing.
Yeah.
And remember, we're having sex for a couple hours.
Crap.
Yeah, on a nightly, when we do see each other. Again, we're getting into all this. It's a couple hour lovemaking session, so 2 to 3 hours. And so imagine if I'm having, 22 orgasms in that time.
Wow.
There's a lot of screaming and crying. And that's because I'm not repressed. Obviously, I've healed the shame. My throat chakra is open. I can deep throat, all those things. And so it's healing. But I'm going to say this. I think women don't go there because you're not sexy. Do you know what I mean? Crying and screaming and yelling and all these things. It's not what you see on porn. When you hear the noises that are on porn, they all sort of sound the same, right?
Yeah.
And they say the same verbiage. Interesting, right?
I'd get a little worried if my girl started crying, though.
Well, some of those deeper internal implosive orgasms, they can lead to that, depending on the energy centers that they're penetrating and what's being released. It's a good thing. Sometimes also, it's not even for me, it's not about releasing shame or anything like that anymore. I've done so much work around it. It's just the pleasure is so intense. You cry because you're just your body is just like with childbirth. Your body is made for a certain threshold of pain. And once which is why oxytocin and inducing is the worst thing on the planet. I know Gary disagrees with me because he's like, put your kid on the numerology, but it's not good for the mom. It's just trying to have natural, which is recommended.
Natural birth.
Yeah, is the only way. Unless it's medical, then of course you do what you do.
Yeah.
But because what happens is the body has a pain and pleasure sort of threshold, right? So when you're having birth, your body knows how many, quote, I don't call them contractions because I did hypnobirthing, but contractions you have, correct? So the body knows, okay, we need this amount of, we have this high of a pain threshold. And so we're going to only let the contractions last this long, and then we're going to bring her back down. But when you induce with Pitocin, that throws that completely off. That's why you see women losing their minds during birth and then their labor lasting for days. My water broke and I had him 20 minutes later.
Wow.
You know? So like that's how the body's designed to work. And then the body knows, like I will tell you, some of those pressure waves, as we called them, were intense, but they always came right back down. So it's the same thing with pleasure. Your body sort of has like a pleasure pathway. And then like once it reaches that center, it's like you don't know what to do anymore. So you just cry. If that makes sense.
No, it does.
It's kind of weird, I know.
No, you're describing.
Kind of weird.
I love weird people, but you're basically describing a full body orgasm, right? Yeah. So a lot of people can't even relate to that because I don't think most people have achieved that.
No, most women, first of all, we know cannot orgasm, right? We know that approximately 70% of women only experience orgasm through clitoral stimulation. So with a finger, with a toy, unfortunately, or with oral. And then we know about 20 some percent can't orgasm at all, like close to 30. And then that very small sliver, under 10, can have what I have, which is internal, implosive, full body, 11 forms of orgasm.
Wow.
They can have.
So that's genetic.
That's not genetic, it's trained.
Oh, so you could train into it.
You can train into it. Anyone can be trained for this type of pleasure, for 11 forms of orgasm, for full body, for mental, for what I'm doing. But this is my life path, so I've trained a lot. So it's not normal to probably have like 22 orgasms or, the long duration ones that I've had that I think we're going to talk about later. But every woman has the potential to orgasm. But most women only are experiencing, this is a plot twist.
Yeah.
One type of orgasm, 70%, right? Which is what? Clitoral.
Yeah.
What I said. By the way, clitoral is on the second chakra, which is, it's where pleasure sits and everything, but it's superficial pleasure. The other thing that I think is interesting to understand is that the clitoris is the underdeveloped tip of the head of the lingam for men. When you're decided, is yes, there is gender. When you're decided at birth, or not at birth, at conception, whether it's XY chromosome or XX chromosome, that the gonads and then the ovaries, correct? This happens.
Yeah.
That is what develops into the hood of the clitoris or the head of the lingam. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the type of orgasm that 70% of women are having is a masculine orgasm.
Wow.
Which is why I think that there's more masculine women today on the planet, because they're orgasming the same way, orgasming as you guys know it. But we know that orgasm and ejaculation are different. Well, we don't know, but I'll explain. That's another thing. So they are experiencing a climax the same way a man does, which is what? Really fast up and then really hard down. So if 70% of women can only have a climax through the clitoral, which is basically a male ejaculation, then they're becoming more masculine just by how they're orgasming.
Holy
plot
crap.
twist.
That is crazy.
Have you ever thought about that?
No.
And that's again why, like, I get so much energy, because I'm not having those. I actually stopped having clitoral orgasms back in 2012 when I started my Tantra training.
Wow.
I just completely stopped and retrained my body to have implosive ones.
That's crazy.
And now I have, glowy skin, look at that. That's from the hormones, the oxytocin, the dopamine release that happens from regular climax. You see women today, even young women, they look like older. And it's not just the plastic surgery. I think that's a lot of it, because girls now
the
are doing
Botox,
stuff, like, in their 20s, they're doing it. But imagine, like, you just look at their skin quality. Like, is it like plump? Is it like moisturized? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
you can see hormonally, like on their skin, if they're having implosive internal orgasms that are bringing them more femininity, or if they're orgasming the way a man is. I can tell on any, you could put me in a lineup of any woman, I'll tell you.
Really?
Absolutely.
So you could tell.
We could do it. Let's have them on a show.
That'd be a viral video.
That would be a viral video. We need to do that.
Yeah. We could have them write down how often they're having sex before, and then you read them.
And if what type of orgasm they're having.
Right.
If do they have orgasms? And then what type? And then I'll tell you.
Wow. You can seriously tell that?
Absolutely. And I could also tell if a man's practicing semen retention. Let's do it.
How?
Let's do it. Let's do a test next time.
Really?
I'm an hour away.
I can't tell if men are practicing it.
Oh, I can.
Really?
Absolutely.
It's like an energy thing, or?
It's because I think this was one of the questions. Are men sexually lacking discipline?
Yeah.
That was one of them, right?
Yeah.
They absolutely are.
With the whole industry.
Yes. Men, like, okay, for instance, but he's going to hate this because he does not like to be in the limelight. He's like normal. And I would never say what he does or anything I told you, but that's different. He is a normal guy. He's an athlete, but he's a normal guy. He is naturally trained tantric. He doesn't ejaculate all the time. He does sometimes, but he just trained himself. I had nothing to do with that. I have to say, I can't take credit. I was always so attracted to him, and I didn't understand why at first. He's so fucking disciplined. That's the biggest thing that I feel that men tell me when they practice semen retention. They're just so like locked in, right? Like they're locked in. He's so focused. You could put two girls in front of him making out. He wouldn't flinch. He just is like locked in, and he doesn't sway. Not even me. And make things pretty swayable. Like he's just on his mission and path. And that's the biggest thing with men who practice tantric. I don't like semen. Tantric retention, because they've diluted it and perverted it for no fapping. They don't even know what they're talking about. I'll just say that. They're so like on their purpose, Sean. Nothing can shake them. They're so focused. They're locked in, tuned in. Food tastes better. Things are clearer. They hear better. They see better. It's just like they become a freak of nature because they're like mastering that sexual energy.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So I can see it in how a man sort of carries himself, his discipline, how he talks, how he looks at me, like how he eats, everything. I can just I can tell.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a man have a full body orgasm? Is that possible?
Okay. So good question. Let me caveat this. Men can have full body orgasms, but it takes training. It takes the first step of training is understanding that your orgasm is separate from your ejaculation. It's just a bad habit. Because if you look in nature, animals, they have sex for what? Procreation, correct? That's it. They're doing that to keep their population alive. That's it. So that is how men were meant to have sex, or what I like to call lovemaking, because sex is so cheap. They're supposed to do it for they're supposed to ejaculate for procreation reasons only, right? They are supposed to love make to create union, divine union. Now, we know that's not happening because men are lasting 3 to 5 minutes now.
If that.
If that. And that's with everything. So it's like, how can you create connection, intimacy in 3 to 5 minutes of lovemaking? Like, no, right? So men can have full body orgasms. What happens is they have to learn to separate that orgasm from ejaculation. It's a training method. It's something I teach. It's possible. The greats like Montauk are who we gather our information from. So his kind of concept is that men should sort of have sex. They should ejaculate or have only certain times. My lineage of Tantra says never ejaculate, right? The David Datas of the world, he ejaculates on special occasions, right? I don't know, Christmas, holidays, birthday, who knows? To each his own, right? And my guy's not even spiritual at all. He just self-trained himself. So I would call that semen retention. Tantric retention is when you're purposely pulling the energy up and moving it in the body. He doesn't know how to do that. I just do it for him. Because this is what I do, right? But so how you really achieve that full body orgasm, or multiple, if you will, is learning to separate. What happens is your old level of like orgasm, which was like, you go up to 100% and then you come back down and then you take a nap or a cigarette or something. Yep. The resolution phase, that's modern sexology. Well, the tantrics, they don't do that. They're never going past the PNR, which is the point of no return, which is in that 50 to 70% pleasure range, right? 0 being nothing, not erect, 100 being ejaculation. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So tantric men will have sex in that 50 to 70% range, or the self-pleasure, and they just stay there. But what happens is when you're connecting with a woman and you can match that energy with her, and you can breathe together, and you can move the energy, the microcosmic orbit, back and forth, then it takes you to like a heightened state of not just physical, but energetic pleasure too. Then you'll start to have an orgasm that will seem like different from the orgasm as you know it.
Mm-hmm.
And so what will happen is you can just have more of those.
Wow.
You can just, so you'll get up to maybe that 70%, you'll ride that wave. You might start going up, but you'll just stay right there and you'll ride that. Then you'll come back down and you'll do that again and again and again. And it's a new kind of orgasm. It's hard to explain it if you never experienced it, but basically it's just imagine your orgasm. It lasts a few seconds, right?
Yeah.
And the other part is just, it feels good, but you're just like building up to it, right? Mm-hmm. We know that men only experience pleasure where? The tip of the head of the lingam. Mm-hmm. That's it. And the orgasm, typically they feel, the quote, orgasm, ejaculation, they feel right there too. They're not feeling it in their body. Mm-hmm. Ask any man, he'll tell you, I'm feeling it here.
Yeah.
That's why when you're done, they don't want you to touch it.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, sound familiar? Women, when they have a clitoral orgasm, they're like, don't touch it.
Yeah.
It's the same, masculine. So, but if you learn to reprogram your body to have those orgasms as a man, you're just constantly having like a high pleasure sensation over and over. It might come back down again, but it'll go back up. You're never having that direct up and then that energy loss. So it's a new kind of orgasm. I don't really know how to explain it any more than that, but you can train it. The full body ones comes when you know how to move the energy all through the body. And if your partner happens to be someone like me, you're in luck because she'll help you do it.
Wow.
Then you're feeling an orgasm in your fingers. Imagine an orgasm in your heart. Imagine you both have an orgasm in your heart. That's when the crying comes in.
That's deep.
That's deep, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible that people can get to that level.
Yeah. And so Montauk has like a system for like how you train, right? So for men, if you're in your 20s, I always get this a little confused, so I'm going to check my notes. Anything with numbers, I just kind of like blank out on. But 20s is 2 to 3 times a week. If you're in your 30s, then you can do once a week. So like my guy's in his 30s, so he can ejaculate once a week, no problem. And I asked him, I'm like, I'm always curious. Like, I want to know these things. Like when he's not with me, I'm like, how many times are you ejaculating? Because I'm like, how much life force is he losing? He doesn't believe my stuff, but he's like cool to like humor me with it, And he's like, maybe 2, a couple times.
Yeah.
So he's really going over. That's more what you should be doing in your 20s. He's an athlete, so his body's a little different, but still. Then when you hit your 40s, it should be every other week. When you're in your 50s, you should be ejaculating once. Your 60s, they say every other month.
Wow.
Does that make sense? That's what not my tantric lineage says, but Montauk's and most modern, quote, men who are trying semen or tantric retention, that's the schedule they'll do. Or they'll just come up with their own.
I'd be very curious how long these guys live compared to like average people.
I mean, this is the study, right? This is where we need that, because people are like, oh, I need evidence. I'm like, you mean the evidence that they're giving you, the Viagra and Levitra companies are giving you, that's just used to sell their product? Because people are like, oh, if I don't ejaculate, I'm going to get prostate cancer. I'm like, yeah, because they want you on their medication. If you don't move the energy, then yes, it can get stuck. But tantrics, that's why tantric retention is different than semen retention. We're constantly moving the energy. We're not keeping it in the testicles. That's why we do testicle massage. That's why we do lingam massage. That's why we take the energy of the climax and pull it up the spine and bring it back down. So we're cleansing that energy. We're not just letting it build. That's why if you're practicing semen retention, good luck. If you want to know the real practice, it's tantric retention. And we teach you how to move the energy. So
you also consume the energy.
I consume it. I love. So if I've been with tantric men and they don't ejaculate. It's very rare. Like my business partner Keith, Now this is interesting. He's like, I'm choosy with what women I let have my life for.
Really?
Yeah, which I thought was fascinating because we're super close, so we talk about all these things.
Yeah.
Because we're both tantric, and he's been with the best tantric masters on the planet, including myself, and so we talk about these things. I'm like, so you are choosy with who you let drink your sperm? And he's like, your semen? He's like, absolutely. I'm not just giving it to any woman. And he doesn't ejaculate all that often either. I don't really know his full schedule, but he's very choosy. I consume it whenever he ejaculates when he's with me because I know it's life force and I love it. I'm like, and also there's studies, like I feel like so happy and like calm and like blissed out when I consume his semen.
Wow.
Have you seen those studies?
No, I need to look at
You
that.
haven't seen the study. I'm bad at the numbers, but look it up. The studies show that women who consume semen regularly are less depressed. They're more happy. They're more elated.
Wow.
I didn't even know these studies existed. I just knew after every time I drank his semen, I felt great. I felt balanced. I always tell, I'm like, when I'm like without you, I'm like doing my thing. But I was like, I always say, like, when you're inside me, I feel more balanced. And after I consume your semen, I feel like normal. That's what I always say. And he just laughs. He knows I'm crazy. I'm like, I actually feel normal. Like, it just like balances
Mellows
everything
you
out.
out.
And there's studies about it. So that's saying that it lowers depression, makes women happier when they consume it, which makes sense. It's life force.
Yeah.
Of course it does.
Does he consume your liquids too?
Yeah, I mean, he does. He's cool with it. He's like into like that sort of thing. He's not like, now I squirted the other night and it freaked him out. He was like,
He's never seen that before or what?
he said it only a couple times, but like it was a while ago. And he's just, because we normally have like our positions and things that work for us for long lovemaking because we're having sex for a few hours. But I just was like, literally, and this just shows how complex a woman's body is. I just like leaned back a little bit and I knew it was going to come. And Sean, I freaked out because I know he's normal. He puts up with my crazy, but I also know I have to like ease him into things and like explain.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh shit. I knew it. The thing is, every woman can learn how to squirt too. I think that's one of our questions, right? They can learn. They have the capability to do it. So what happens is I knew I had squirted, but it hadn't come out yet. I don't know how to explain that.
Like you felt the pressure?
It was there.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it's over. And I was like, okay, how do I do this without freaking? Like, I'm having this dialogue. Imagine women do not think about this stuff when they're having sex. But me doing what I do, I am. So I'm like, oh God, he's going to freak out. I already know it. So I was like, okay, I just got to like hold it together. And then I was like, okay, I'm just going to slowly get up. And so you try your best, right? I did. It went everywhere. And he was like, oh my God, what happened? And I was like, it's okay. It's not pee. I know that's what you're thinking. And so I had to like tell him what was going on. I was like, I promise you, it is not urine. And he's like, yeah, I haven't had that happen in a long time. And I was like, ever? He's like, maybe once or twice, but it was ages ago. But yeah, and it's just a different position. So all women can really train to do it. It's just learning how. There's also a myth that if a woman, because you watch porn, right, and you see her squirt, she didn't orgasm. A lot of guys think if I made her squirt, she orgasmed. You can squirt without having an orgasm, and you can orgasm without squirting.
Really?
Yes. So when they want you to think that if you made her squirt, that she orgasmed, right? That's the whole thing. Yeah. Those women are not orgasming on sets. I'm sorry. Maybe some of them are, but I've been on those sets. It's very mechanical. And not in it, but I dated a director back in the day, and they're not having them. They train themselves to squirt because it looks good on camera. And so any woman can learn how, and that's something I actually teach women because it's empowering. And it actually, that release opens them up, opens their body up to learn how to release into an orgasm and some of the deeper ones. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Just the idea of just like pushing down. I don't know how to describe it, like pushing down and releasing. That's what you have to do in climax too. You have to like relax and release. So it's good training. And sometimes they are together, but oftentimes like that night I just squirted. There wasn't an orgasm attached to it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder if is the sexual energy in that though? Like should men be consuming that like the other way around?
Absolutely. In fact, there's a company, I don't know if they're still around. They used to make these, in the tantrics, we call it kalas, Kalas. And we consider that like a supernatural liquid. Like there's power in it, there's magic. So they would create these bowls that when a woman would squirt, you would just put the bowl there, like have it by the bed, put it there. Because like I knew I was going to squirt, right? So a trained tantric woman will know. She'll be like, and you know, a porn star will know, like, hey, it's happening. And so then you just put the bowl there and then you drink it. Or a guy can just put his head down there or whatever. Because they believe, and I believe this too, that there's a supernatural power that's in that fluid. It isn't urine. They've done a lot of studies medically saying, they say it does come from the urethra. I always have problems saying that word, but it is not urine. And I've tasted it myself. I drink my urine every morning. Yeah. So I think I know the difference. It tastes like sweet. It's clear too, where urine is not clear. I mean, mine is basically, I drink so much damn water, but you know, most urine has a yellow tint to it, even if you're super healthy. And you're like, most people's urine's scary. When I'm in the doctor's office, I'm like, what?
I hold my breath in public bathrooms.
It's bad.
It's disgusting.
It's so terrible. But you know, we're so clean and pure. Like our urine is like basically water, but there's still, you see a yellow tint.
Little yellow, yeah.
The kalas, no. It's just clear. But
Really?
men just have this, like some men love it. I think a lot of it has to do with astrological signs too. If they're more a water sign or they're more like an earth sign, they like it.
I'm an Aquarius.
Yeah, so you're air,
yeah,
right? So I don't know how you feel about it. He's a fire sign. He's Aries.
So he hates it.
He's not his thing. So I'm like, okay, well, and that's okay. I don't have to do it. If it's hitting a certain spot, I know it's gonna happen. So we won't have sex in that position.
Your G spot or?
Not always. Yes, it is G spot, but it's like a certain position. Like if it's like for me, the best way that I found out that way. It was like on top, leaning back.
On top, leaning back.
But again, that's with his anatomy. With a different guy,
it's he's 6'11".
Yeah, he's 6'11". He's like, we've been using the pump. I make him use the pump. He's like my
Did it work?
It works, but I think he's already huge. But he's like, I think he's like 8x8 when he started. But now he's getting bigger.
8x8?
Yeah.
It's a fucking cannon. Like the 8's like impressive, but 8x8.
By the way, do you want to hear the stats on the lingam stuff?
Yeah.
I think we're talking about size, right?
Yeah. What's the average lingam?
Okay, so I'm going to tell you right now. I have it in here. Hold on, my numbers. Don't be mad. Okay, so I think that this is interesting to understand. 64% of women that are polled, and this is a reputable poll site. I can get you the stats if you want later. They say that both length and girth are important. Now, I talk about this in my book, and if you come to my retreats, it's not bigger is better for everyone. It's not. My yoni, and this comes from the Kama Sutra, my yoni happens to be between the medium and large size. So I need a medium or large lingam.
Yeah.
It just makes sense. Some women, they have a smaller, cavity from entrance to cervix. So they are happy with a smaller to medium lingam. So it's not bigger is always better. But that poll did say that 64% of women feel that both length and girth are important. Notice it doesn't say size, correct? But that it's important, again, to their body, right? So I think that's really crucial. 45% of men feel their lingam is too small.
Wow.
Yeah.
So almost half a man.
Correct. There you go. And then 44% of women, I don't know, I need to look at this stat. It says orgasm best from 8 inches. I need to look at that one again. That's what it saw. That's what it said. Not sure.
Wow.
Not sure on that one because that one doesn't really make full sense because it says that the average size of a man's lingam is around 5.5 inches in length and about 4.5 inches in girth. So that's average. So if you're around 5 inches, you're super normal. I feel like a lot of men feel like, this hair is really bothering me. Sorry, guys. A lot of men feel like feel like they're not big enough. But if you're around 5.5 inches, 5 inches or so, you're completely normal.
Yeah.
I think it's important for men to understand that.
Well, because guys are watching porn.
They're watching.
So they think 8 inches is normal.
But let me tell you what these numbers are. So a 9-inch lingam, which is I think after using the pump is what he's going to have at this rate. And the pump really works.
It works.
By the way, it does work.
Yeah,
You know,
I used it for a
you
bit.
used it. It does work.
I had to stop because it was working too well.
Yeah. And then it gets too much. I know.
Yeah.
Your girl's like, calm down.
I was like, what the fuck?
I know. I love it because it does work. I don't care what people say. They can laugh all they want. But he's laughing to the bank. So a 9-inch lingam is less than 1% of the population.
Wow.
So when you guys are watching, you're comparing yourselves to a 1% of the population. And then if you're 10 inches or more, it's like less than 1/4%.
Holy shit. Have you ever seen someone with that?
I mean, I have.
Wow.
I've been
Wow.
I've been blessed. I don't know why. I think I'm like the lingam buster. Like I just knew a size for my body.
You can kind of tell sometimes, right?
Just they
looking
get
at people.
athletes though.
Yeah.
So, tall. It's not always the case, but taller, bigger guys and African-American men, it is what it is. But I just know what works for my body. I think that was one of our questions about is sexual compatibility important, right?
Right.
Was that one of them?
Yeah, it was. I guess how do you measure that without getting in bed first, I guess, right?
Oh, yeah. But I think it's important that we talk about is it important, right? Don't you think?
Sexual compatibility?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super important.
Yeah. So why would you say? I'm just curious.
Well, if you're too small and she has like a deep whatever you call it, it's not going to work.
It's not going to work.
Yeah.
And so just from the anatomy portion, and we do this in the retreat, it's so fun. We make it so fun for everyone to like understand this because I think a lot of people, a lot of men, we see they feel bad and they feel like they're not big enough, right? Mm-hmm. And for men, confidence is everything. That's the one thing I've instilled in my son. Mm-hmm. He's so confident. Like, I think I went overboard because he doesn't give a, I
thought he was going to sit in on this interview. I was like, damn, he's confident.
Did he went outside?
He went outside, but I thought he was going to be.
It's like Chinese to him, I promise you. And this is why I tell parents all the time. They might say, oh, you can't talk. My son doesn't think that is bad or doesn't even think about these words.
Really?
No.
That's some really good parenting. Because if I was, how old is he?
He's 10.
I wouldn't have been allowed in this room at 10 with my parents.
That's right. But why?
I think they would have felt too shameful about these topics.
My son doesn't even try to listen because I've explained to him about the body, about my body. He understands. He understands what sex is. All of that. And he's heard me speak of it. It's like so not, it's normal to him.
Wow.
Normal meaning there's no shame. He's not interested. My son is 10, but I'd say he's more like 8. On purpose.
Really?
Yeah. 8 when it comes to like some 10-year-olds have girlfriends, they're doing weird shit. My son's not doing that. He has brought Charmander with him on purpose, right? I'm keeping him young on purpose. But back to sexual compatibility and why it's so important. Guys, you marry someone or have a long-term if you choose not to do the marriage thing. I don't know, some men aren't doing marriage today because, right? Because
a lot of men.
But they'll still have a LTR, right?
Yeah.
They'll still claim one woman, but they don't want to do marriage, right? And I actually understand. I am for marriage because I think there's like a covenant, like what, Charlie Kirk talked about, if you will. There's something very sacred about it. And so I think faith-based, they're still doing marriage. But even some conservatives, if they're not faith-based, they're opting out, right? For obvious reasons.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you feel.
Usually financial, I feel like.
It's financial.
Yeah.
But if you're choosing a person to either be in a long-term relationship or marry, what changes your relationship from any other relationship? It's the sex and the intimacy, correct?
Yeah.
You don't have sex with your friends, your colleagues, your kids, your parents, no one else. Who do you have sex with? Your wife.
Right.
Your partner. Pardon me. So if you know that going into a marriage or a relationship, and you know that sex is what? The first thing to go in marriage. In fact, that's why some men won't get married too.
Really?
Yeah, because they know that once you get married, they don't have sex anymore.
Wow.
Men tell me that all the time. Like, I don't want to get married. I know that you don't have sex when you get married after you have kids, right? Because then she becomes fixated on the children.
Right.
So if you know that sex is the one part of your relationship dynamic that's different from any other relationship dynamic on the planet, don't you think it's important to know if you're compatible?
100%.
Because we know it's the first thing to go. We know it's why people get divorced. We know it's oftentimes why men cheat. We know it's, women is a little different because they're more for the emotional stuff. However, it's very important to understand the compatibility of that. So it's good to have an idea of this going into it. Now, there's tools that you can use that are called, I should have brought one. They're called Yoni wands, and they're crystal. They're made of rose quartz, amethyst, and they're like a vibrator, but they're not, because they're just the stone, just like this crystal, just like made of that. And so you can use that to sort of put it in the yoni, and she can measure and say like, hey, I'm 3 to 4 inches. So she's good to be with a man who's 4 inches, 5 inches. That's okay. That's okay. Maybe 6, right? But then she doesn't want to be with anyone higher than that. Why? Because he's going to what? Bottom out.
Yeah, it would hurt too much, right?
And also for the man, say if the man is bigger, if he's 6, 7, 8, he can't even get in all the way.
Yeah, because some guys talk about the wall.
It's just like...
You've heard that, right?
Of course. I call it wall bottoming out is another, I think it's a bad term. But they can't go any further, right? Yeah. And they want to. Why shouldn't they be allowed to? Right?
Yeah.
Sex it's an important part of life. It's a spirit. God gave it to us to enjoy, right? To have. So why not have it the right way? So there are things that you can do to make up for the imbalances, but I do think it's important. Would be a first question I would ask.
Yeah.
Like, I know this is weird, but you probably want to have sex with me for a whole time, right?
Yeah.
So don't you think we should see if we're a good match? And if we're not, what we could do to make us a better match? Does that seem far-fetched? To most people, they'll never ask that question.
Yeah, they won't.
They'll never ask that question. They'll never ask, like, do you believe in having, what's your sleeping arrangements? What do you think about that? Or do you believe, or like a lot of questions I feel like people don't ask. They'll ask, what's your favorite song? What's your favorite movie? Where do you want a vacation? But like they won't really ask the real questions that keep the sexual polarity alive.
Yeah, they ask like surface level stuff, right?
Or like preferences. Like I don't know half that stuff about my guy. I don't really care because it doesn't really matter. Like I mean, if you're observant, you can figure out everything.
Yeah.
I know he likes his Evian water, which I cringe. Oh, that one's good though in the bottle. Yeah.
I don't drink plastic.
I need to start getting him those. I know he likes Evian. You know, I know he's very simple and he wears like basketball stuff all the time, You can find that stuff out. But the important thing is to know is like sexual compatibility. Right. Do you believe in birth control?
Hell no.
Do you want to have yeah, I don't. I've never been on it. That's another reason.
Nice. That's rare, right?
Yeah, I think it's why I'm going to be fertile into my 50s,
50s?
I turned 44.
And you're still fertile?
I just got off my moon cycle.
Holy crap. So you can still have kids or not?
I'm going to have kids. Well, he's on the fence. He said when he hits 40. He's 35 now.
40's pretty late.
He wants to stack that money.
For a female, I feel like it's late.
For most women.
And
let's talk about this, because you guys annoy me with saying I'm a grandma and I stopped menstruating. Are you crazy? You wish. I'm more fertile than people in their 20s, I believe.
I could see it.
Because of my lifestyle. I've never been on birth control. I don't eat meat. I've been vegan since 6th grade.
Wow.
I'm not taking in hormones, right? All the hormones and the synthetic hormones that they're getting from meat, from dairy, from estrogen, from the pill.
Yeah.
I'm never getting that. So of course I'm going to be fertile. Plus my whole mission in life is to preserve my sexual energy. I'm a Tantra master, so I'm constantly building and recycling energy. I drink my moon blood, which is less about the nutritional stuff. I said that for more like to get people to understand what's in it, but it's an energetic principle of saving my life force. That's my old jazz. I'm also drinking my partner's old jazz. I'm going to be fertile for decades. So the modern person thinks that it's late to have. They call it a geriatric pregnancy after 35.
Yeah, there's a lot of
it's hilarious to me.
Health issues, right? Women after 35.
For the regular woman. Yeah, if you ate and did this to your life and to your body, yeah, you are geriatric. I'm not.
Did you see what Trump said about the Tylenol?
What did he say?
Oh, this came out yesterday. Pregnant woman on Tylenol, there's like some link with autism allegedly. Just came out yesterday.
I need to see that.
Yeah, him and RFK made a huge.
Oh yeah, and I've been saying this stuff all the time. I was on the vaccine bandwagon before that was on it to not vaccinate your children. I got told I was irresponsible. I was a bad mom. My son was going to get sick and die, and I'm like, no, you guys are idiots. What woman in their right mind which are not in their right mind because they just got their labor induced and then got a spine tap, numbing themselves, which is fucking crazy. Instead of just saying, I'm a woman, my hips, my body was made to push, I can handle an hour or two of pain.
That's how they used to do it.
That's how they used to do it. And they used to squat. That's how I did it.
Oh, you did a squat in a bathtub?
I squatted. My doula got nervous, so she hadn't delivered a baby in a while, so we did go to the hospital, unfortunately, but I turned on my side. They wanted me on my back, and I refused.
Back
Why
is
do
bad,
they want you on your back? Do you know it hurts so bad? And it goes against gravity. So the vaccines, like they're out of their mind after they give birth because they're not in their mind. I was fully awake. I knew everything that happened during my birth, 1,000%, because I was lucid. I wasn't drugged. I had a rush of hormones that literally took over my body. I thought I was like an avatar. I was like, God.
Did you have an orgasm?
I didn't have an orgasm, but I believe that you can have an orgasm during birth if you train properly. I think that my second one I could.
Okay.
The first one, it's like you don't know what's going to happen. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the pressure waves, when they come, they are intense. You kind of feel like you might possibly be dying.
Right.
But you're not. Your body was built for it. Like, I pushed my son out. He was 7'7". I didn't tear. I mean, that's not huge, but I'm not huge. And his dad was like, 6'8", tall, skinny guy too, basketball player.
7'7".
7'7". So there's bigger, but I mean, look at my body, my texture. We're lean. So 7'7". I didn't tear. So I did not have an orgasmic birth, but you can have orgasmic birth, and there's women who do. I think second time around it's possible because it's like I told you, I felt euphoric afterwards. It was like such a release of energy. I literally thought I was God. I thought I could do anything. And once you know like how to, so now I think I could channel that energy differently. The first time it just hit me, and I was using a lot of tantric yoga practices to move the energy, but you don't know until you know. Now that I've done it, I understand what's going to happen. These waves are going to come, they're going to hit me, but that's just energy and I can move it.
Right.
So I do believe that I could have a second child orgasmic birth. There are women who have these orgasmic birthing stories. I don't believe in the fear mongering about birth is a death sentence and, oh, watch out for this woman. No, I did everything that I did yoga sculpt then when I was in labor. I was literally had started having contractions. I was in a hot yoga class with weights standing on my head. Like, it's like nothing because like women are just lied to. We're so dumb. We believe what anyone in a white coat who's white tells us to believe.
Yeah.
It's like, I think I know my body better than you, boo. Like I've been in it for 40 some years. I know what I'm capable of.
Did you breastfeed?
I breastfed for 7 years.
7 years.
Actually, my son still tries to nurse. He asked me, Mom, can you take Arabs to make more milk?
Wow.
And he's 10. And you see my son, he hoops, he games, he's normal.
I didn't know you could produce milk for that many years after.
Yes. This is something else that's women, God, we've just been so lied to. The modern woman who's like, eats the standard American, the sad diet and all that. They just don't know. I could have gone longer. In most African, and this is going to be in my book, my second book is about conscious motherhood and parenting. Conscious womanhood, motherhood, and parenting. Most cultures, like in Africa and indigenous tribes, they nurse their children till they're like 12. And they'll be out on the field, with one baby, with one kid who's helping them, and they're both nursing. One's like maybe 2 or 3, one's like 9 or 10, and it's normal.
Wow.
Why? Do you know they have still not been ever able to replicate breast milk?
They're trying.
They're trying.
Formula, right?
Formula's garbage. I think that you should be sentenced to prison if you give your child the formula.
Damn.
And let me caveat that you have the ability to breast milk.
Right. That's
if you
fair
can't.
point.
I understand. Like if you can't, there's medical things and it happens, and that's all imbalances in the body. By the way, you should be able to. But anyway, no judgment. Say you just can't. And they say okay, fine. You have to feed your child something. I think goat's milk in that case is the better option. But some kind of formula, is needed. I would never do the commercial stuff. That is so
They put sugar in it.
Everything. And you know what they do? It's sick. They drop it off at African countries. And the women are like, oh, we're getting American nutrition. And then they wed the baby. The baby is addicted to the formula and the women stop producing milk.
Oh my God.
It's interesting. Look it up. It's crazy.
That's awful.
But so they can't replicate breast milk. They cannot do it. My photographer and friend did his thesis on extended breastfeeding.
Mm-hmm.
The benefits mentally, you've seen my son. Is for years now. Come in here. He sits in like he's not like most kids, right?
Most kids annoy me.
Yeah, my son comes in. He's always like, "Oh, we get to see Sean. I love him because you're tall and you're a hooper." He's a hooper, but he's just chill. He's been to almost 30 countries.
Wow.
He's like, his EQ is better than most men, I believe.
Yeah, 30 countries is impressive at that age.
Yeah, he's like 25 now, but whatever, close, getting up there. I believe that his emotional intelligence is higher than the average man's. I really do.
I could see it.
And you know why? Part of that is because I breastfed so long. Michael Jordan was breastfed till he was 4. There's some other major players in society, you can look them up, who did extended breastfeeding. I know Jason Tatum did, because I do attachment parenting. He slept with his mom till he was 16. My son still co-sleeps, and he'll probably do the same until he's probably around the same age. I would be shocked if they were doing extended breastfeeding, because most attachment parenting is that. It's extended breastfeeding, always wearing the baby, sleeping with them, like sleeping in bed with them, non-vax, all these things.
Interesting.
So breastfeeding is very powerful. I think it's also kind of a fetish. My son is completely just for the support. He asked today, "Mom, I really wish you still made milk." He said, "Can you take the herbs to make it?" I said, "The factory is closed. I'm done." It was a lot. Imagine most women won't do it for 6 months or a year, and I did it 7.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Yeah. But I think it is a fetish now today.
Yeah.
For men.
What about like your dating partner drinking it? Is that a thing?
I think that is a thing. And there's some men who are kind of drawn to it. It's weird. They're like, when I was nursing and I was producing milk and I had a partner, he would drink it, and he was like, oh, like he liked it. It was kind of, I don't know what it does, if it's like it's a nurturing thing, or it takes them like, it's something that I think it's a very bonding, connected, intimate experience, right? To say, oh, I just made love with my partner and I drank her breast milk. Like, that's the same thing with like the kalas. It's an intimate experience. So I think that just like it detaches mother and baby together, the bond that it forms, not to mention nutritional EQ, I think it can do that with your sexual partner as well.
Don't knock it till you try it, guys.
And bodybuilders pay for it a lot of money.
Really?
Actually, that's a way I made, my story's a little crazy.
Yeah.
When I was like starting from zero, I'm not gonna, I have no shame. That's the thing about me. I will say what I've done, because I was trained by Tony Robbins' PR team for a day in San Diego. You know what they told me? Get ahead of the story. Tell people everything now. And then what are they going to say? Because people are going to say, oh, yeah, you're an ex-stripper. Yeah, I said that. I have a TED Talk. I had a pimp for a decade. I was trafficked. I got out. I faked my own death. And now I help people heal. And?
What are you going to say now?
Yeah. So I sold my breast milk when I was needing money. I sold breast milk, and I would I was a hustler. I'd dilute it with rice milk, because the rice milk consistency is very close to breast milk. I don't know why. The color, the texture. So, because, you got to stretch that.
Yeah.
So I'd like cut it, like drug dealers cut.
Yeah.
I was cutting it, and bodybuilders would come and pick it up for me, and I'd sell it for like $100, $200.
Holy
for a bottle of breast milk. Also, some guys, it was just a fetish thing too.
Yeah.
That's something I did to make the living in the early days.
That's some like OnlyFans shit before it became OnlyFans.
I never did it there. Is that a thing on OnlyFans?
People sell all sorts of stuff on OnlyFans.
Sure.
Used underwear.
Really?
I'm sure they sell period blood if I had to browse on that. I haven't been on it, but
Gosh, that's wild.
yeah, I've had a lot of them on the show, so I hear all sorts.
So they do
of
that?
things.
No, I was just trying to survive at that point. I was just like, how can I keep the rent over my head in Irvine?
Yeah.
Let me sell this breast milk to this bodybuilder.
Wow.
I didn't feel weird about it, because it was like, I was making so much, I still have some in my freezer. During COVID, my son he just was acting a little weird. And I was like, yeah, not today, Satan. So I just took the breast milk out, warmed it up, put some cacao powder in it, drank it. Neither one of us ever got COVID.
Wow. It lasts that long in the freezer?
I mean, I'm sure it's not as potent, but yeah, it's still in there.
Interesting. That is cool. How did Tony Robbins find out about you?
Oh, that was wild. One night during those early breast pumping days, I was really struggling. The thing that's interesting that they don't share, and this is what I'm writing in my parenting book, is like a lot of these parenting methods, it's not for single moms. Like, they don't tell you attachment parenting is really fucking hard. It's about putting like doing the best for the child, which most women are so selfish today. They schedule their C-sections because they don't want to ruin their body. What they don't realize is that when you don't have a vaginal birth, you're really fucking your child, because your child gets a plethora of good bacteria when they come down the vaginal birth canal that protects them for life, which is why my son's never sick.
Wow.
But so I was going through those early days. I was postpartum. One of the side effects of having a natural birth, if you're in my demographic meaning I was a product of the foster system, had abuse, was trafficked, blah, 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 was alone, no family, you have higher chances for getting postpartum. Doesn't mean that Karen, living in the multi-million-dollar mansion can't get it either. It just means my chances are higher. So I was having postpartum and PTSD. It was a pretty rough time.
Wow, I'm surprised. You seem very mentally strong.
Yes, but having a newborn, breastfeeding around the clock, which I did, going to school full time to keep the roof over my head because I was in all these programs, the government was the county was paying for me to go to school so my son could be in charge. I was just trying to figure out how to survive at that time. And I had the skill set Tantra, but I didn't really know how to how do I make money off of it? What do I do? So I was just at that time just surviving. And you see when I don't know if you're planning to have kids, but it's a lot.
I am, yeah.
You're doing it alone and you have no support, no family. It's a lot. So also the natural birth, the hormones were so it was rough. So I was having postpartum and it brought back a lot of the trauma from being trafficked and all this stuff. It was rough. I was I can't, I had the thought. So when men say postpartum's not real, it kind of annoys me. I'm not saying that it can't be alleviated naturally, but to say it's not real is so not fair because you know me, I'm really natural, but that shit is real.
Yeah.
I've never taken aspirin. I don't take any of that sort of thing, but I had fucking postpartum. I had thoughts that were really crazy and very scary. And in that moment, I was doing homeopathy, I was doing all this stuff, shit wasn't working. So at that point, I did go see a doctor and I was like, I need to be on a mild SSRI because I'm my son and I need to live.
Wow.
That was what I did. I went on for 3 months, weaned myself off, which you're not supposed to do. But I've never been on anything since. And I guess I needed it. Or I just needed support, but I didn't have it. So I had to go for the next best thing. But it was during that time, I was a low spot. And I just remember thinking, I can't go on anymore like this. I'm failing. I'm trying to do all this homework. I had mild TBI from multiple concussions when I was trafficked, which makes it more challenging when you're doing studies like math. And so I had to take 5 remedial math courses before I can get a credit.
Wow.
Because I didn't grow up with an education, all this stuff. It was intense. Imagine you have a baby and you're nursing the baby and still going through all this. I was just this is not life. This can't be life. I don't want to do this. I remember having that thought and his thing came up on my feed. It was I'll never forget it. I was and stop worrying about what could go wrong and stop imagining all the things that could go right. And I just hearted it. And I was 2 a.m. as I had just nursed him. He went back to sleep. I was awake. And I just commented with 2,000 other people. I was yeah, I just don't think I have this skill set right now to make it in this world where I was just bought and sold. This is just, nobody cares about me. I don't fucking know how to do this. And I knew my hormones were imbalanced. And he responded to me. He DM'd me and he started messaging me. He's wow, I just commend your bravery. This is right at the time. I know they're not even a thing anymore, but he started working with Operation Underground. And he was I want to help you help more women. Because at that time, I had started this club on my campus for human trafficking awareness. So he's I want to help you help more women, but I want to help you. So he sent me to his event, Unleash the Power Within in Palm Beach, West Palm in 2018. That's where I met him for the first time. So over the next few years, we would talk back and forth on Instagram. He would send me to every event he had, including Business Mastery, Date with Destiny. We had plans to work together in this fight, of human trafficking, advocacy, and awareness for survivors. Unfortunately, in Australia, actually, I was supposed to have a sit down with him. And that is when he got mercury poison and he came out in a wheelchair. He'd been finished that Date with Destiny. And then after that was in 2019 rather, COVID hit.
Yeah.
So after that, then they took my Instagram account, and then I lost my direct line of communication.
Damn.
But I still have like his PA, his all his team. And I told you the media team trained me. So that's what happened.
What a story. Shout out to him for reaching out. That's beautiful.
I know. Helped me so much. And I think what Tony's work really did for me was like, it just gave me like the confidence to understand that I could take this tantric work and healing and do something with it. And that all the stuff in the past, I could let that go, and I could do it. So it just gave me that confidence. And I think that's really what his work does. And it's like networking on steroids. That when you go, I'm going in October and taking Prince for the first time in LA. Like, you just meet the most amazing.
I've heard great things. I've had so many guests that have gone, or even speakers. Yeah.
Like Dragon's one of his trainers. There's a few other people who come in here. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Man, you've been getting banned everywhere. You got banned on WhatsApp a couple months ago, right?
Yeah. They took both of my WhatsApps, scammers. I don't know. It's a little fishy. Like, I don't know. But they sort of reached out to me on Telegram saying, hey, give us money and we'll get your accounts back. And ever since then, I just haven't been able to get them back.
Wow. That's a whole industry.
That's a whole
People
thing.
ban you, and then the same person that bans you hits you up.
But I don't trust it, because what if I give him the money, then he's going to do it again?
A lot of them do that. Yeah.
And I'm not going to do that. So I'm still trying to get in with WhatsApp. I have my team message them every day.
Crazy. Because WhatsApp's so important too.
So I'm not even in the group anymore.
I know, especially with what you do. If you have international clients, so you got to text them.
And and all like the connections. So it's been.
That's so messed up. Well, if you get a new one, let me know. I'll add you back.
Yeah, I do. I have one.
Okay.
So I got to give it.
There was someone that called me literally today, and he's like, dude, I made over $1 million from your WhatsApp. I was like, holy shit.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he like posted about some business deal, and he said like 5 people hit him up, and like one of them ended up going through.
He was in real estate or something? Or?
He does he sells some sort of manufacturing, he helps people save money.
Okay.
It's hard to explain. Yeah, but there's all sorts of people in there.
Yeah, so. I got to get back in that group, because I had so many connections, and I feel like so sad not having like anyone. And then you don't always save all the numbers in your phone off WhatsApp, So it's like, how do I find that person?
Damn, we got to get back in there.
Yeah, we got to get back in there.
Should we end off with some rapid fire?
Yeah, let's do it. Did we cover everything?
We got most of it.
Okay. All right, let's do it.
What are your thoughts on period sex?
I think that period sex is extremely healing for a few reasons. One, it's a very powerful magnetic time for a woman in her body. She's literally in tune with her life force. Blood is life. Life is in the blood. So if you're inside of her, when she's in tune with her highest ecstatic, feminine, receptive, powerful energy of life, it's going to be powerful sex, just even if you're not tantric. Second of all, it actually helps to stop a woman's cycle. It ends it sooner.
Wow. And
can alleviate cramps, because if she is able to orgasm, it can stop the contractions and help to release the oxytocin, the serotonin, dopamine, so that she has first of all, a climax, but it also helps her to relax the cramps and things she might be experiencing. It's so powerful. Also, every time I have period sex or sex right on my period, maybe I'm on the end or close to it, close to being done, or maybe in the middle, it'll stop.
Whoa.
It stops. I'm not fully sure on that. I'm going to actually reach out to my teachers to kind of understand more. But I think it's something to do with, like I said, the hormones, also the contractions of just relaxing that area. And it helps to just alleviate PMS symptoms, like I said, reduces the cramps, and can potentially stop the cycle altogether, which happens to me all the time. The problem is most guys are afraid of it.
Yeah, because of the blood. But I guess if you have towels or...
Yeah, or do it in the shower. For me, I don't bleed a lot on purpose, because I pull my blood back into the body.
Yeah.
So I shouldn't say this on the, but there's sometimes I'll do it. He doesn't know.
What? You're a savage.
He doesn't know that.
Wow. Like, he doesn't feel it?
Because I don't, it's just like being lubricated, because I don't bleed much.
Wow.
So he doesn't know.
That's crazy.
I only do that because sometimes we don't get to see each other that much. So if I'm on my cycle, I'm like, damn it. But you can also manipulate that a little bit too.
Yeah.
Women see me for more details.
That's impressive that you could pull that off.
Yeah.
But you can also pull off climaxes without even being physically touched, right?
Correct. I can do that. That's something that I worked on actually when my son was young and I was in school full time around the clock for like almost 5 years. I would be just sitting in lectures, and I've trained my Yoni muscles with the eggs. And so I can just learn how to just manipulate, like I'm doing it right now. I'm like squeezing, manipulate. And actually, people don't understand that orgasm happens in the brain. The body is just the other component of it. So you can mentally stimulate yourself into that feeling. Like I could do it now, but I don't really want to go because I'm not trying to be like Jaya. Jaya is really famous for that, like just orgasming on camera.
What?
Yeah.
I need to interview her.
Yeah, she's an OG in the game.
Jaya. Jaya.
Yeah. She will just
She could just orgasm on command?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
I mean, it's a thing.
That's impressive.
Yeah. And she works with Tony's followers in his private groups, And then so I absolutely I could do it as well. I'm not prepared right now in this moment.
Yeah, that must be a female thing, right? I don't think guys can do that.
Yeah, it is like it's just about like it's like feeling the energy, like I'm feeling it now, and then you just move it up, and I could do it, but I don't know. I already get so much shit. I don't.
We'll save that
she
for the
makes
next.
millions of dollars, and she's doing her thing, so she does that. Nobody cares. I'm not to that level yet, but it's about like I'm having 10-minute climaxes.
That's crazy.
So right now with my partner,
That is crazy.
I told him the other day. I said I'm never leaving you.
10 minutes, like
We counted 9, so 9's close to 10.
9 is still nuts. I think my longest is 10 seconds.
You said as long as it's 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Well, is that practicing tantric retention?
I used to do like Semen Tantric, yeah, but not like disciplined enough.
Not disciplined
yeah.
enough. It's a lot of work, and you're so busy. So it's like if you really want to go with that, you will get to those longer ones. For women, it's a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. Like that's why the crying comes in. Imagine I'm going 1 minute, 2 minutes, and I'm still going. It's kind of a funny thing now with him. I'm like, I'm still going. He's like, I know.
I could see why you're crying now.
He just sits there, and he's so like, to me, oh my God, I'm like, how does he not orgasm in that moment?
Because you're super tight at that point. Like
I'm like crying, losing it, and that's what really gets men going, right?
Yeah.
A woman is feeling full pleasure, and she's in her highest state of receptivity and femininity. She's climaxing for 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. Like that's why I'm so like I think I'll ever leave him. He doesn't want to get married. He already told me I won't get married. He said he'll do a ceremony with me.
Okay.
But he won't do the marriage. It's okay.
That's not a deal breaker for you?
No, I understand. I'm not traditional, right?
Yeah.
He's really good. Like, it's like if I was like a regular woman, I would probably say I want the ring.
Right.
But I can't do all this stuff and be like, yeah, and I want to be traditional too. It's
Yeah,
like,
with your lifestyle, yeah.
and like what I teach, it's just not normal. So to me, I'll take the 9-minute climaxes if that means I don't get like a legal thing. I don't need that. Like to me, that's the legal is oftentimes I feel what ruins it for most.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm very happy. Needless to say, like that is, it's so attractive that a man will not be moved even in that moment of pleasure. And to me, that's like the ultimate Shiva move right there. Like you're so in control of your ejaculation that I'm literally like dying in pleasure and you're still like unmoved.
Yeah, hats off to him.
I know.
Is it gay for men to enjoy anal play?
No, it's not. Anal is it's very interesting how our bodies work. The male G-spot is located obviously in the prostate. I don't know if you're familiar with that, right? Yeah. And I don't know if you've ever had any.
I haven't.
And I think there's 2 types of men. Men are like strictly, they're like gay. Don't come near me. But then there's men who maybe, I don't think it's right when women do this without telling them. I don't think that's okay. I have never done that. It's been that invitation only because I respect Shiva,
Yeah.
But so I've heard from my clients and men that women have just put a finger or just jammed a tongue or just gone there or a toy without asking. And that is not cool because if they did that to us, it wouldn't be cool. So we shouldn't be doing that to them.
Right.
But for a man, it's a very, very sensitive area around the anal area. Just even if it's not like a toy or a finger, just licking, it can be very highly arousal and it can take him to an intense climax. And I think once they have those kind of climaxes, it's like a release. It's a different kind of release. And I think that can be exciting and something that they want to experience. I don't think there's anything gay about it. It's not like it's another lingam inside of their butt or something. That's different, right?
Yeah.
That's gay sex. A tongue, it's the body, it's the anatomy. And your G spot just happens to be located in a very unique area, right?
Do women have any spots in there or no?
Yeah, a woman's... If your woman isn't doing anal, you're missing out. You need to listen to this next part. Anal sex for a woman is, I think we talked about it.
It's a stress reliever, right?
I think this is one of our higher performing. But let me tell you, because it's the Apanavayu, the downward spiraling, moving energy. But a woman's climax in anal climax, I was like trying to word my words right. It is like earth shattering. It is such a different kind of orgasm. It's like having like cheesecake versus creme brulee. They're both so good, but it's like, how do you really say like, oh, one over the other? It's like they're both decadent desserts.
Yeah.
And that's like the anal orgasm for me. I don't have it all the time. I would be lying. I've had it a few times in my life with someone who's very large and very that 1% category, if you will. And I say all that to say that anal is possible for women. I think that there's a misconception that if you're a little bigger, that women, you can't do it, correct?
Right. Yeah.
That's not the case. If it's done correctly, with, an organic lube like coconut or ghee or something of that nature, and there's a stimulation that's done, I recommend the nipples. The nipples is the best because it's the negative pole of energy, and it opens the positive poles. It's relaxing. And when you have a dual stimulation like nipple play, or you're playing, in this case, I don't mind playing with the clitoris a little bit to help relax her, then you can do anal quite easily as long as she's pushing, not resisting, pushing out. Does that make sense?
Okay.
But an anal orgasm will change your life, and women, you should definitely give it a try. I think that a lot of women are missing out on that.
You heard it here, woman. Get it going.
Get the anal going. Get the anal going.
I think we got through most of it, honestly. Anything else you want to cover?
I think there was one thing I think it's interesting to talk about is the top 3 hacks for lasting intimacy.
Oh yeah. Let's end
I think
there.
that's really important. Someone said to me, a teacher told me, like, if you want results like everyone else does, then do what everyone else does. The top 3 hacks for intimacy they're probably maybe not what you think of as conventional, but they do work. So the number 1 would be to sleep in separate beds or homes. This is a non-negotiable for me. And you have to talk about this with your partner. Now in real estate, actually, they're making his and her bedrooms and bathrooms.
Really?
It's a thing now, yes.
Wow.
I think more it's for closet space, but they are doing it. A closet and bathroom space, not so much for the sleeping, but for us in the tantrics, it's about the sleeping. There's 5 energy bodies. So there's the physical, the energetic, the mental, the emotional, and the causal, which is the spiritual. When you sleep at night, your auras combine, your energy bodies combine, and you turn into one.
Whoa.
Which is why you see grandparents and people who've been married a long time, they start looking like each other. Have you noticed that? You're like, why does everyone look the same? Well, that's why.
Same with people and their dogs.
Correct. So for lasting sexual polarity, you want to keep that magnet like attracted. And the best way to do that is to not sleep together. That's why it's so passionate with my guy and I, because we don't see each other that often, couple times a week. But when we do, we're just so magnetized. And I already said, I was like, I think we need separate homes. And he's like, no, but at least separate rooms. So you have to find that. Tantrics stay together for a long time because the polarity is strong. They don't ever, leave because they still want to have sex with each other and be around them. The second thing that you need to do is you need to schedule blowjobs and sex. Why do you need to schedule blowjobs? I think it's important that a man gets that release of just being able to relax and receive. Women don't like doing it. They're like, oh, I'll do it on the anniversaries and things like that.
Yeah.
But for a man, it's the one time where he doesn't have to do anything. He can just take that, and it's a good thing for him to have that. For a woman, we're not moved so much by sex, so that's not as important. but the intimacy, the lovemaking is. And if you don't schedule it, it won't happen. I'm sure you do a lot in your life, including podcasts and whatnot with your lady, all these things. But I'm sure you schedule it, right? If it doesn't go on your calendar, does it happen? And people are like, I don't want to schedule sex. It should be natural. Well, that's why you're not having it. And that's why marriages end in divorce. And the number one reason, or it vacillates between 1 and 2, is infidelity. Men aren't getting sex, so they're going out and finding it. So if you have to schedule it until you make it a habit where it just happens automatically, like you brush your teeth every morning, then you have to do it.
Right.
The last thing I would say is don't be idle together, meaning what most people do in relationships. You get off work, you go home, you might be watching Sports Center, she might be scrolling through the feed, and that you call that hanging out.
Right.
And that is what most people do in relationships today. That's the number one thing that weakens polarity, is just spending idle time where you're not both present, connected, vulnerable with each other, and actively doing something. And that is why I think we see a huge lapse in the sexual polarity weaken and people leaving in and out of relationships fast. If you've been together like a year, that's like a big thing today. Right? You've been a year? Whoa. It's crazy. So those are the 3 hacks.
I love those.
Yeah.
The last one I love a lot.
The last one was good. I wanted to touch on one other thing if we have 2 minutes. The last one, the monogamy and cucks. I thought the cucks was a very...
I know. You've debated a couple of them.
I have. Destiny, when are you setting that back up, by the way?
So if you're going to Amfest in December, I'll set it up there.
What's that?
Charlie Kirk's yearly event.
Oh, when is that?
It's in Phoenix, December 18th.
I can do that. I mean, Phoenix is easy.
Yeah, he'll be there.
Nick going to be around?
Fuentes?
Yeah, we got.
You want to debate him?
Yeah, we were going to.
Oh yeah, he said no, but
he said yes. I was the one that canceled.
Oh, you
because of my situation.
Yeah.
He said yes.
You got to set that up.
I'm here to remind
We'll do
you.
Destiny first because Nick's on a crazy trajectory right now. He might be hard to get. He just went on PBD yesterday. Yeah, but Destiny will do it.
Well, yeah, Destiny.
He's getting canceled again right now.
Yeah, and I gotta do some stuff that show him the receipts of things he accused me of, so that'll be cool.
He accused you of stuff?
He said I didn't write my book.
Oh, really?
And now I gotta show him. And then he said that my story was fake, so I gotta show him my TED Talk.
You gotta bring out the receipts.
I got receipts. But the cucks, should we talk about that?
Yeah, let's end off with cucks.
That should be a show. Let's end up with cucks. So cucks, all right. So it's simple. Tell me what you think of this theory.
Yeah.
Because a lot of men now, it's kind of a trend now, right? Like, oh, my wife, I just sent her off with a man. Diddy was one of the most famous ones.
I just had on Diddy's prostitute. Oh, you were?
Yeah. He came to my house first and then he came to you.
What?
I love him.
Wow.
He's such a stand-up guy.
Yeah, he's a really
amazing,
very good dude.
Very in-depth. Not what you'd think.
Not at all.
What people think about me. They're probably like, oh, and then when they meet me, they're like, damn, she's real. He was amazing. Loved him. Punisher. I can't think of the name, but Punisher. So yeah, cucks is super simple. One, it's I think it's 3 things. One, it's an inadequacy. I think it's either short dick, no money, or too much power. Those 3 things. Or the last one, I forgot, overweight. And it's all about performance. So the short dick, overweight is kind of performance. A lot of the cucks that I've either worked with or I've seen, there was something there, an inadequacy, meaning they didn't have a big dick, they were overweight, they couldn't even see their dick. How are they gonna have sex? They're like, so they know this because I knew a very famous producer in Hollywood who was one.
Mm-hmm.
His dream was to marry me and to have me sleep with black guys all day. And I was like, I actually considered it. I was like, it's literally what I do.
It's not the worst offer.
It's not the worst. I mean, taking care of my son to be in private school. I mean, he was coming on thick. He's like, your son's in private school. I don't want you to work, but you can do something fun on the side. And I was like, dude, why did I not take him up on this offer? This is literally my life. I sleep with black men. But I was like, no, like I couldn't energetically. I was like, no,
yeah.
But I was considering him.
Decent offer.
But decent offer. And it's because he had a small dick and he was overweight. He could perform. I knew it. He didn't tell me those words.
Yeah.
But I knew it. I saw it, he sent me the footage. I was like, okay, this is what's happening. And then a money thing. He had money in that case, but it was the other. And then I think is when they have when they have too much power. It's something where if they're not connected, like what I call Shiva energies, like directed, connected, focused energy towards God, and they are in tune with that, they don't know what to do with that. So it's like an imbalance. And so for them in that narrative, I'm paying you to fuck my wife. I'm in control. It's like, really? Okay. Yeah. Like Punisher is like, I'll take the 20 grand, whatever it is. And he's off to the next thing.
Yeah.
So I think that what that is, it's a way for men to justify being mediocre on some level of their life.
I could see that. It's an issue these days. We need to fix it.
Yeah, because it's kind of
Guys are simping out here.
simping in the streets.
Well, Jennelle, it's been cool. When's the next retreat? Where can people find you where you're not banned at?
Love that question. Oh my gosh. Instagram, Shakti Living, JG for Jennelle Gordon. Get my book, Amazon, and next retreats in Tulum.
Awesome.
February. Valentine's Day.
Nice. That's my birthday, yeah. We'll link it in the video.
All right.
Cool. Thanks for coming on again. See you guys.
I hope you guys are enjoying the show. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps the show a lot with the algorithm. Thank you.